Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well and you've had a fantastic week this week. I'm Lindsay, your host of the Heavy Metal Journal and writer for the Moshville Times. And today I am back with New Metal Monday, where I talk about my favourite new releases of the week. And today I have 5 brand new albums that I want to talk about. So let's jump straight into these. Okay, so first up on today's list, of course, I have Amorphis with Borderland. And this is the 15th studio album from the progressive melodic death metal band from Finland. Now, to be honest with you, this band needs absolutely no introduction whatsoever. I have been a long-time fan of this band for many, many years now, and this album is absolutely stunning. Now, they definitely do fall more so on the melodic death metal side of things with the catchy hooks and the addictive rhythms, and because of that, I feel that this is their most accessible album to date. But nevertheless, they still have their flourishes of progressive metal and folk metal elements, which creates that very trademark Amorphous sound. Now, on occasion, this album does hit incredibly hard with punishing riffs and guttural growls and roars, but they're offset by the soaring cleans, the textured layers, and the emotive tendencies. What I really liked the most about this album was the interplay between the guttural growls and the soaring clean vocals. The way that they've been placed and structured in the album creates this dynamic atmosphere. So when you combine all of that with the artistic keyboards, it creates this very mystical feel about the album. And to be honest with you, the track Dancing Shadow, I cannot get enough of. The morning that I recorded this video, I must have listened to that about 6 or 7 times in a row. There's just something very uplifting and magical about it, and I cannot get enough of it. So if you're a fan of the likes of Dark Tranquillity, Insomnium and Sentenced, you're definitely going to want to get onto this one. I absolutely loved this. I cannot stop playing it. I know I say that about a lot of albums on these videos, but I just love this metal so very much. And this one is no exception. Phenomenal record. Definitely check it out. Okay, so next up on today's list, I have Moore's Principium Est with Darkness Invisible. And this is the 9th studio album from the melodic death metal band from Finland. This album is dark, intense, and utterly spectacular. It perfectly balances this rich orchestral, haunting choir feel with deadly riffs, intense blast beats, and chugging bass lines. And those guttural growls are so ridiculously powerful. Intricate detailed riffs which are melodically rich, soaring solos, and there's just this very powerful, commanding presence about it. What I really liked the most about this album was the contrast between the sheer brutality of that gritty, chugging death metal with the grand, opulent melodics and orchestral moments. This is an absolutely spectacular album. So if you are a fan of the likes of Omnium Gatherum, Kalma, or Night Rage, you're definitely going to want to get onto this album, but I absolutely loved this. It's dramatic, it's orchestral, it's opulent, but it's crushingly heavy at the same time. Definitely check it out. Okay, so next up on today's list, I have After Earth with Dark Night of the Soul. And this is the 2nd studio album from the melodic death metal band from Sweden. Now, what you can expect from this album is a combination of Gothenburg-style Swedish death metal with a lot of groove, a lot of dense melodics, and the occasional orchestral moment. Yes, this is densely atmospheric, but the vast majority of the atmosphere has been created by the guitars. It's a very guitar-driven record, so you can expect a lot of intricate riffs and screaming solos. The tracks are strong and individual in their own right, but at the same time they flow incredibly well as an album. You do have your more frantic moments, but you also have a lot of really cool groove-laden stompy stomp moments as well. You also have the odd breakdown in this, and like I said before, this is a densely atmospheric album that has been generated by the guitars. So if you prefer the heavier side to the melodic death metal subgenre, you're definitely going to want to get onto this one, especially if you are a fan of the likes of Disparaged, Cataclysm, or Paganizer. But definitely check this one out. This is an absolutely fantastic melodic death metal album. Do not sleep on this one. Okay, so next up on today's list, I have Revocation with New Gods, New Masters. And this is the 9th studio album from the technical death thrash metal band from the US. This is rampaging, aggressive, in-your-face technical death metal infused with a lot of really cool thrash metal elements. This is chugging, brutally heavy and highly aggressive with a lot of really cool intricate riffs, thunderous blast beats, slamming bass lines, and really deep demonic guttural growls that are ridiculously powerful. This album goes incredibly hard, but it has a lot of really cool mid-tempo stomp moments, but when the technicality comes in, it is mind-blowing. The riffs are intricate and the time signatures are incredibly spectacular. I like to describe this album as streamlined chaos because you do have all of that technical brutality with the differing time signatures, the intricate riffs, and the ridiculously heavy death metal element, but there's also a rhythmical foundation to it as well, which carries all of that, which makes it incredibly streamlined. Now, this album features guest spots from Gilad Hexelman, who is an Israeli jazz guitarist, alongside Cattle Decapitation and Job for a Cowboy, so there is a varied sound to this album. So if you are a fan of Cattle Decapitation, Job for a Cowboy, or Psychroptic with a little bit of the Black Dahlia murder, you're definitely going to want to get onto this one, but I absolutely loved how intricate this album was, but regardless of how intricate it is, it goes incredibly hard and it's going to completely crush you. Definitely check this one out. Okay, so last up on today's list, but certainly by no means least, I have Last Retch with Abject Cruelty. And this is the second studio album from the death metal band from Canada. Now, I cannot stress to you enough how amazing this album is. It is so ridiculously catchy. This is old school death metal infused with a lot of groove. Every single track on this album has a heavy groove presence with that old school death metal style, and I cannot get enough of it. This is a 27-minute long slab of pure old school death metal that is incredibly catchy but ridiculously heavy. The guitars are chugging, the bass lines are slamming, the blast beats in this are ridiculous, and those guttural growls really grab you by the jugular. Like I said, this has a lot of groove in it, so you are going to find this album incredibly addictive. This is a high octane album. There's a lot of energy in this, and there's also something very rabid and violent about it. But it's also catchy at the same time. So if you are a fan of the likes of Cannibal Corpse, Carcass, or Bolt Thrower, you're definitely going to want to get onto this one. I love my old school death metal with as much groove in it as possible, and that is exactly what you get with this. It's only 27 minutes long, but it's a short and sharp jab to the jugular, and I cannot get enough of it. It's really groovy, really intense, but ridiculously heavy. Definitely check this one out. And that's it for this week's New Metal Monday. Once again, comment down below to let me know what you think of today's records. And if you have any of your own recommendations, please let me know and I will definitely get them added to my list. If you use Spotify, make sure to follow the Spotify playlist that I've got linked in the description box below, because I update that every single Monday with every album that I talk about on these videos. But if you don't use Spotify, I have also included the band's Bandcamp links or their YouTube channels, just so you can find the music that I'm talking about as easily as possible. If you want to follow me on social media, please feel free to do so. All of my handles are down there. Thank you all so much for your support. I really do appreciate you guys as always, and I will see you very soon in my next video.